Hey there.
Hey there, welcome back. This month I want to talk to you about the importance of footwork and try to help you understand ground reaction force. In 2014 I had a chance to go down to a Titleist Performance Institute certification class, and I had the, I'll say, privilege of meeting Chris Como, Tyler Farrell, and some other guys. Chris has gone on to work with Tiger Woods and Bryson DeChambeau, Jason Day, the Parker and Pearson Coody, some other guys, okay? Brilliant mind. I had never even heard of ground reaction force, much less was there anything on the market where you could measure ground reaction force. Since then, here we are almost a decade later, now there's 3 or 4 companies that produce products where you can measure ground force. There's a ton of data available that can prove what I'm going to teach you today. And the next time you watch a long drive competition or just golf in general on TV, you'll see the footwork. You're going to start to pay attention to it, okay? So this is not rocket science. It's not magic. It is a hard thing to understand. It is a hard thing to grasp if you're taking lessons or even working on your own. But one thing I think that speeds up the learning curve is using sliders so you can feel what's happening with the forces under your feet. So if I give you a down the line target view and I say, okay, at the top of the backswing, I want you to feel like you're loading into this adductor, and I want you to feel like you're loading onto the inside of the shoe and kind of even more towards the heel. If you've seen Body Tracker Swing Catalyst data, you know that's what's happening with some of the best players on the planet, regardless if they're male, female, pro, or amateur, okay? If you look at the lead foot, okay, they are usually pushing that way, which sits their hip back that way. We know poor players extend their hips, okay? You need to keep your hip back and just allow for rotation. Okay, great. Well, when does all this happen? Well, if you look at the top of the backswing, if we get here, you should be pushing that way. I'll say away from the target. So if I'm pushing that way, when I take the slider off from underneath me, it's going to drive my hips laterally towards the target. We want that little bit of bump, okay? That happens just before the hands start to drop in the downswing. The opposing force is me pushing my foot towards where the golf ball is. It seems counterintuitive. That's fine. You're looking for the reaction force, not the actual force. Okay, so if I take that off and I showed you the reaction force, I'm pushing my foot that way and it forces my hips back. That's what we want. We want your hips to get here, we want them to stay back, and we just want them to rotate. So ground reaction force on the trail foot. I'm pushing away from the target. It forces my hips a little bit of a lateral bump. I'm pushing this way, hips go that way. Lead foot, pushing that way, forces my hips back. Okay? The timing of all that is what you have to understand and marry as to what's happening with the forearm structure, club face control, and getting that club to work around your body. But for individuals that struggle with their hips getting into the golf ball and getting out on your toes, that footwork would be vital for you. Next time you watch golf, look for that lead foot to be jumping out of the way almost. If you need videos, just email me back and you'll see the footwork I'm talking about. It is dynamic and it produces a ton of speed and it produces a pelvis move that is fantastic for allowing the hands to come through the space they should be versus your hips getting in here and your hands getting where the club starts to stand up vertically. It's a nightmare. If you have questions on that, if you want more information, if you want to see some videos that would be great examples, just email me back and I'll hit it to you. All right? Have a good week. Hope you're hitting some golf balls. Hope you're taking lessons. And hope you're on the countdown for a spring break golf trip with your friends. Talk to you soon.